It's time to make our penguins to go on our background papers. I forgot to bring my background paper that I made home, so I'm just going to use this purple paper instead. Or maybe you are working on this at a different time and everybody's using a different colored background. So here's how we're going to start. We're going to make an iceberg at the bottom, or some kind of a snowy landscape for our penguin to be standing on. So I have this paper right here. This has got some blue oil pastel on it. And I'm going to lay it right here across my paper. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take one finger. I'm going to hold down the paper with my other hand. And I am going to rub my finger. I'm rubbing kind of hard. And I'm rubbing the oil pastel onto my paper underneath. So I have to move my hand a little bit over to make room for my finger. And it is okay if just a little bit of color gets on there. That's okay. So now we have kind of a frosty looking bit of snow or an iceberg. And so I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to cut right kind of where that line is, and it does not have to be perfect. So I'm just cutting that so we have a little bit of frosty blue showing. There we go. So I'm going to put this part down at the bottom. So I'm using my glue stick. If you're using liquid glue, make sure you don't put too much, but if you're using a glue stick, make sure you put enough. Remember, our glue sticks need to have kind of a lot to make them stick. So I'm going to turn that around and rub that down. Time for my penguin. Okay, so here's what I have for my penguin. I have a black paper. I have a white paper. I have, let's see, they're hard to pick up over here. I have 2 circles for eyes. I have these little orange bits for feet. And I have a beak. Okay, so we might have lines to cut on. If we don't have lines, then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of cut a little curve. Or you can snip it straight. That will work too. All right, this is going to be our penguin's body, and we're going to save these black pieces. That's going to be his wings, or her wings. It might be a girl. So I can slide it down a little bit, or I can put it right on top. That is your choice. Although if I slide it down, I might not have my feet to show, so I think I'll put it on top. So I am going to glue this little guy on. Doesn't look like a penguin yet, does it? I'm just going to rub that down. And now I'm going to take this white part, because we know that penguins have that white part on them. And I'm going to do the same thing that I kind of did with the black part. And I don't really need those little white triangles. And I'm going to glue that one down right here. Remember, plenty of glue if you're using glue stick, just little dots if you're using liquid glue. I'm going to rub that down. All right, so I'm going to put the wings on next. And you can arrange them how you want, but I think I'm just going to do them kind of like that. So little pieces are a little bit trickier with glue stick, but you can do it. I'm going to see if I can slide that underneath a little bit. Let's see. One more wing. There we go. Now it's starting to look a little bit more penguin-y, isn't it? And my eyes are going to be next. Let's see how big those are. That's pretty big, but that might be kind of funny and cute. If we might have some different sizes, so you can pick if you want smaller or larger eyes. I'm just gonna go ahead with these big ones. All right, and so I'm gonna take my black marker and I'm gonna put some circles in there. I like to leave a little white spot to look like there's a little bit of shininess on the eye. But you don't have to do that, that's your choice. All right, so let's give this guy a beak. That's gonna go right here. So I'm going to put the beak right here. All right, that's looking pretty cute, huh? Oh, feet. You can leave the feet just like this, but if you want to make them a little bit fancier, I'm going to do some snipping. I'm going to do just the tip of my scissors. Snip, 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 snip. So there's some little tiny triangles. It almost looks like little baby beaks, doesn't it? And there's a short side and a long side. I'm doing my snips on the long side. Just 2 little snips on each side. And then I have my penguin feet. So let's add those. There's one. And there's 2. I'm going to cover up that little purple bit. There we go. All right, and just for fun, if you want to make it really cute, penguins don't usually wear hats, do they? But if I want to give a little hat to my penguin, I can, just for fun. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because that was kind of big for his little head, wasn't it? That's very silly, isn't it? Still have to make it fit a little bit better. I think I'm going to go with that. And I think I'm going to put a little pom-pom on top. Maybe I will just choose a crayon or a marker. What do I have handy? I have this black marker. I might cut one out, but I'm just going to do this for now. And then let's make this some details on the hat. All right, so that's our silly little, for fun, penguin. I'm super excited to see yours.